What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. So I watched some UK boxing, and I enjoyed myself. It was a solid card. Linares, that fight was crazy. The Gradovich fight, Gradovich lost his title to Lee Selby, who looked pretty good in that particular fight. Anthony Joshua absolutely ran through Kevin Johnson, who was talking a lot of shit beforehand. But the thing that was impressive about Anthony Joshua is he stopped a man who's been in there with Vitaly Klitschko, Tor Hammer, Tyson Fury, Manuel Char, and other named heavyweights, and nobody was able to stop him. Anthony Joshua got it done in round two. So I want to talk about the main event, Kell Brook and Frankie Gavin. Now, this fight, I didn't even do a prediction because I already knew the outcome. I gave Frankie Gavin I didn't really even give him a puncher's chance. Didn't see him taking the title. Really wasn't a fight that needed to happen. And the thing that's frustrating as a boxing fan is they're talking about maybe making a Brandon Rios fight with Kell Brook next. If that's the case, why not just go directly? You already did your mandatory versus Jojo Dan, so you're not due for another mandatory challenge. Why not just head directly into the bigger name, Brandon Rios, who at least has some punching power and a good inside fight game, can make things interesting. It was just kind of a waste of time, in my opinion, because I really didn't see anything Frankie Gavin would produce that would get him the win. You know what I'm saying? He's just a guy that's kind of here. But as far as the fight is concerned, Kell Brook did what you were supposed to do with a person who's just not at that level. No disrespect to Frankie Gavin. I didn't see anything on his resume or past performances that let me believe that he would beat a guy like Kell Brook. So Kell Brook, he did better than Amir Khan versus Chris Algieri. And that's namely because I'm not really going to compare Chris Algieri to Frankie Gavin, because it was Chris Algieri's first fight at welterweight versus Kell Brook actually fought a southpaw who had been fighting at welterweight and had a pretty good amateur background. So it's not really about comparing them. As far as the performances, obviously getting a 6-round stoppage is better than the Khan situation. So Kell Brook did his thing. Again, I can't overly credit him because I predicted this. This wasn't a mandatory challenge. It wasn't really a fight that needed to happen. And the outcome, I mean, I just seen Frankie Gavin. He looked like he was content. It reminded, you know what it reminded me of? Keith Thurman versus Leonard Bundu. He got a taste of that power, and when Leonard Bundu got a taste of the power in the first round, he was just content surviving, not taking too many unnecessary chances, didn't want to get embarrassed, didn't want to, you know what I mean, go for broke, which is what he would have needed to do to turn the fight around. That's exactly what I seen here with Kell Brook. Frankie Gavin, it looked like he was mentally out of the fight, not really taking too many chances. Paulie Malignaggi was commentating, and he mentioned that, how basically he was punching to stop Kell Brook from coming forward, but he wasn't really putting punches together to win the rounds or anything. So it was a pretty boring fight because it was one-way traffic, and it was a guy who was outmatched early and wasn't really willing to take any kind of risks to get, you know what I mean, didn't want to get embarrassed. So that's what we were basically watching. But the difference between Keith Thurman and Bundu is Kell Brook remained patient, and he was able to get the finish in the 6th round as opposed to going the distance. So as soon as he opened up, it was I mean, he caught him with some shots. He fell back into the ropes, and then Kell Brook just piled it on to impress the referee and force the 6th-round stoppage. So moving on, I want to see Kell Brook fight a big name. I don't even really want to see the Brandon Rios fight. Like I said, I mean, I'll watch it. I'm a boxing fan, but I want to see a meaningful fight for him. Keith Thurman, somebody like that. You know what I mean? Amir Khan. And link in the description. I did post a snippet of Eddie Hearn, Kell Brook's promoter, talking about how they've been calling out Amir Khan, and they're starting to get frustrated because they feel it's hopeless, and it's a disappointment for the British public that they can't make Kell Brook Amir Khan. They said they offered him the fight, and he's just waiting around trying to get a Mayweather fight. And Eddie Hearn says he doesn't believe that Amir Khan will get the September fight with Mayweather after his performance over Chris Algieri. So they want to make that fight. I think it's a great fight. I think it's one of those fights that makes sense stylistically, also business-wise. Khan can box. Khan has speed. I've never seen Kell Brook in there with someone the speed of Amir Khan. And then Khan has his own vulnerabilities that were kind of showed in the Chris Algieri fight. His chin, how is he going to hold up to somebody who's a powerful puncher? who's a accurate puncher like Kell Brook. There's war stories about who got the best of sparring. They have a backstory in a rivalry. Make the fight. You know what I mean? So that's what I want for Kell Brook. It was a solid performance. He took his time with it. Just boxed. It's really hard to gauge because again I didn't really rate Frankie Gavin high. And the other thing is it's hard to look sensational when you got a guy who's not really willing to commit to anything. Because when a person's willing to commit and make the fight, then that's when the openings come. But like Sean Porter was aggressive. That's why you seen Kell Brook having to clinch, to use his jab, a strong jab, and you know what I mean, to keep that dude off him, keep a pit bull style off of him. But Frankie Gavin just looked very content surviving, and it looked like he understood early that Kell Brook was at a different level, and he didn't want to take any chances. So therefore, it reminded me of, like I said, Keith Thurman versus Bundu. Hopefully, we get some good fights, man. Eddie Hearn, y'all do your thing. Get Kell Brook a big fight. I don't think Brandon Rios is really the ticket. I think if Keith Thurman gets past Luis Collazo, that should be a fight you're gunning for. Maybe try to push for the Khan fight. I mean, I really don't. I'll make a separate video, but I don't think Khan, his audition for the Mayweather, I didn't think he was successful in the Chris Algieri fight because he failed to impress the public. So I don't think Mayweather will pick him unless he's just looking for a farewell fight and he doesn't care. So drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of Kell Brook. If you watched the fight, what do you think about Khan versus Brook? Is that the fight you want to see? Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.